Everyone tells you being reliable is a strength. It means you show up. It means people can count on you. It means you don't disappear when things get uncomfortable. Reliability sounds like character, like maturity, like success. But here's the part no one tells you. Being reliable slowly makes your life heavier. And most of the time, you don't even realize it's happening until you're already exhausted. And if you stay with me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why the most dependable people are often the most quietly drained, and why this pattern almost never breaks on its own. Because the real cost of being reliable doesn't arrive loudly. It sneaks in, quietly, like water filling a cup you didn't know how to crack in it. At the beginning, reliability feels good. Actually, it feels great. You handle one responsibility well, so you're trusted with another. You solve one problem calmly, so you become the go-to person. You don't complain, so people assume you're fine. Nothing feels wrong yet. In fact, you feel proud. You feel capable. You feel needed. And honestly, there's something deeply satisfying about being the person people turn to. It validates something in you. It tells you you matter. But slowly, and I mean slowly, like months or even years, something shifts. Reliability stops being something you offer and becomes something people expect. They stop asking if you have time. They stop checking if you're overwhelmed. They stop wondering whether this is too much for you. They just assume you'll adapt. And you do, because you always have, because that's who you are. That's when reliability quietly turns into obligation. You're no longer appreciated for stepping up. You're relied on to prevent things from falling apart. And here's the subtle psychological trap, the one most people never see coming. Reliable people are rewarded with more responsibility, not more rest. Think about it. When others are overwhelmed, they're allowed to pause. They're told to take care of themselves. People step in. When you're overwhelmed, people say, "You'll handle it." Not because they don't care, but because you've never given them a reason to worry. You've never fallen apart before. You've never said no. You've never actually broken. So why would they think this time is different? Over time, you become the invisible safety net. At work, you're the one who fixes mistakes that weren't yours, because if you don't, the whole project falls apart. In family, you're the one everyone leans on emotionally or financially, the shoulder to cry on, the emergency fund, the mediator in conflicts. In friendships, you're the steady one, the listener, the problem solver, the person who always remembers birthdays and checks in first. And nobody officially assigns you this role. You slide into it, one favor at a time, one sacrifice at a time, one "it's okay, I'll manage" at a time, until managing becomes your entire personality, until people introduce you like, "Oh, they're so dependable," and you smile, but inside you're thinking, "Is that really all I am?" Here's where the real cost begins. Reliability rewires how you think. You don't just live your life, you anticipate other people's failures. You don't relax, you stay alert. Even on vacation, part of your brain is scanning for what might need your attention. You don't plan freely, you plan around contingencies. What if this happens? What if they need me? What if I can't get back in time? Your brain is always preparing for what might go wrong. And that constant readiness, that's not strength. That's a nervous system that never fully powers down. It's like running an app in the background on your phone. You might not be actively using it, but it's draining your battery all the same. This is why reliable people often feel tired even when nothing is technically wrong. They're not tired from work. They're not tired from activity. They're tired from holding things together, from being on call emotionally, mentally, sometimes financially. And here's something painful but true, something I really want you to sit with. Reliable people don't feel allowed to struggle. When you're usually composed, your stress confuses people. Your vulnerability feels out of character. Your breakdowns feel inconvenient. I've seen this happen. Someone who's always steady finally cracks, and instead of support, they get confusion. "Wait, what's wrong with you? You're usually so calm. I didn't think this would bother you. I need you to be the strong one right now." So instead of asking for help, you minimize. "I'm fine. I'll deal with it. It's not that serious," right? Everyone goes through stuff, right? You learn to carry weight quietly. And from the outside, it looks like confidence. It looks like you have it all together. But on the inside, something starts eroding. Slowly, steadily, like a statue worn down by rain. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. Don't answer too quickly. When was the last time someone checked on you without needing something from you? Not, hey, can you help with this? Followed by, how are you? Not, I know you're busy, but just, how are you? Really? If that question made you pause, you're not alone. And quick pause right here. If this channel is helping you put words to things you felt but never explained, hit subscribe. These conversations are for people who carry a lot quietly, and you don't have to do that alone. I'm building a community here of people who are learning to be strong without disappearing. Now, let's keep going. Reliable people don't usually burn out in dramatic ways. They don't quit suddenly. They don't explode in rage. They don't collapse publicly. They fade. It's gradual, almost imperceptible at first. Their energy dulls. Their ambition shrinks. Their joy becomes functional instead of full. They keep showing up, but without excitement, without that spark they used to have. They stop asking, what do I want? And start asking, what needs to be handled next? Life becomes a checklist, a series of responsibilities, a pattern of maintenance. And somewhere along the way, they forget what it felt like to do something just because it made them happy. There's also a financial side nobody talks about. Reliable people are the ones who absorb emergencies. They cover shortfalls. They help just this once, which somehow becomes a pattern. They lend money they can't really afford to lose. Not because they're careless, but because they're responsible. They think, well, I'm better with money than they are. I can handle this. They don't overspend impulsively. They overspend reactively. And slowly, they realize something unsettling. They're always stabilizing others, but rarely building for themselves. Their savings account is smaller than it should be, not because of luxury, but because of loyalty. Their goals keep getting delayed, not because they're lazy, but because someone else always needs them first. Then comes the resentment, quiet, internal, and confusing. Not anger at people, but frustration with yourself. Why am I always the one adjusting? Why does it feel like I'm running but not progressing? Why does everyone else get permission to fall apart but not me? And that resentment, it sits in your chest like a stone. You don't want to feel it, so you ignore it. But it doesn't go away. It just gets heavier. Here's where many reliable people make the wrong move. They assume the solution is to become even stronger. So they tighten their grip. They say yes more often. They push harder. They become even more dependable. If I just get better at managing, it won't feel so hard. But here's the truth most people learn too late. Reliability without boundaries doesn't make you strong. It makes you invisible. People don't respect limits they never see. They don't protect capacity you don't defend. And the hardest part, no one teaches reliable people how to stop. Because society praises endurance. We celebrate the person who never quits, who always shows up, who carries the weight. But the goal was never to carry everything. The goal was to be dependable without disappearing. And that's a completely different skill. That means choosing when to step in, not automatically stepping up. It means letting some problems exist without rescuing them. It means allowing others to experience consequences you've been buffering for years. That feels uncomfortable at first. Actually, it feels terrible. Because reliable people are addicted to control. Not in a domineering way, but in a protective way. If I don't handle it, it won't get done right. If I don't step in, someone will get hurt. If I say no, I'm letting people down. But here's what happens when you start creating boundaries. Some people get upset, that's true. But the ones who truly value you, they adjust. They learn to ask differently, to respect your time, to solve their own problems. And you start to remember what it feels like to breathe. Here's the final truth, and I need you to really hear this. The strongest people aren't the ones who hold everything together. They're the ones who know when to let go, before the cost becomes their identity. If you're the person everyone relies on, your exhaustion isn't failure. It's not weakness. It's evidence. Evidence that you've been strong for a long time without enough support. Evidence that you've been giving from a cup that nobody's been refilling. And that's not sustainable. It never was. So what do you do now? You start small. You don't have to set every boundary at once, but you do have to start choosing yourself sometimes. Say no to one thing this week. Let one problem solve itself.
Ask for help with something even if you could technically do it yourself. And watch what happens. You might be surprised. The world doesn't fall apart. People adapt. And you get a little piece of yourself back. If this video made you feel seen, subscribe. This channel is about redefining strength, money, responsibility, and self-worth without burning yourself out trying to be everything for everyone else. Because being reliable shouldn't cost you your peace. It shouldn't cost you your dreams. It shouldn't cost you, you.